to Sheffplays. Today we'll be doing something a little bit different. It's kind of a send-off to Resident Evil. We'll be doing a tier list of the enemies. Now, a couple rules are we're not going to use Birkin because he's only ever briefly mentioned. We don't actually see him, of what I remember. And we won't be doing Wesker because even though he is a bad guy, we don't fight him, and he's just kind of off doing evil stuff in the background. So yeah, those are really the only rules. Let's jump into it. Okay, so starting off, we're just gonna go in order of how I have these here. With the B, here's the thing is, they don't have a ton of sections in the game. When they were there, they made me nervous. I'm gonna put these based off of like fear and panic and like how hard they were to kill. It's gonna be more of a mental thing than anything. But I think for B's, I'm gonna be silly here. I'm gonna put them at a B. Because although I think they were good and they weren't terrible, they weren't super great. The reason it only goes to D also is because I don't think any of these bad guys are inherently terrible. So yeah, Cerberus, immediate D. Because I don't think any of these bad guys are inherently terrible. That might sound that might sound harsh, but they are one of the more annoying bad guys in here, or enemies in this game. Like after a while, like it wasn't so much fear from them as it was like just annoyance. Let's see, Elder Crimson Head. He was the one we ran into once we dropped the coffin outside the mansion. I think I'm gonna give this guy an A because, I mean, he was an intimidating fight. I definitely underestimated him. I saw that he was a Crimson Head and was just kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be too hard, but he took way more ammo than a standard Crimson Head did. He tricked me, and he scared the ass off me, so I think A is pretty good and well deserved for him. The Crows, I don't think they inflicted too much damage, and there was only like 2 or 3 spots in the game I can remember them actually attacking me. And it was very, not underwhelming, but they weren't really, when I think of bad guys, I don't think of them, but on a few of the lists I found a lot of people were adding them, not tier lists, but like list of enemies in the game. A lot of people were adding them, so I figured why not put them on the tier list. We'll throw them next to the Cerberus. Forest. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he's a specific zombie. He's not just like a normal zombie like the rest of them. He was up on the balcony terrace on the 2nd floor, I believe. And like when you walk by him the first time, he's sitting in a chair. And then you come back and he chases you. He had like the speed of a Crimson Head and like the damage of a hunter. So I think I'm gonna give that guy an A. Because I remember he did scare the hell out of me, because I could hear him charging me before he like absolutely wrecked me. The spiders, you know what, I'm gonna give them a B. I'll give the spiders a B because they scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it. I remember that. And I think B's pretty good, well deserving for it, because it wasn't overused. And it like they weren't everywhere, but when they were there, it was definitely something I watched my back for, because like it's not like a normal zombie where like I just run past it, or like the crows where I run through them, or even dogs. Like I wanted to make sure I got them when I saw them. Neptune. Neptune was like the bigger shark, the big boy. I'm gonna give him a C. Because for as much as they played up his appearance, and not only the intro if you don't press anything at the start screen, but like in the game he had like 2 cutscenes devoted to him. He just was super underwhelming. I'm sure if I'd have died in that section where I had to fix all the oil pressure and everything, I'm sure he would have came crashing through and destroyed me. But for my personal experience, because I didn't get to see that, I'm going to put him at C because I think he was completely underwhelming. Plant 42. We'll put Plant 42 at... I'll put Plant 42 at A. Because he was a little sneaky sneakster. I thought I'd killed him and then he threw me across the room. He was about to Christian Grey me and I just... I wasn't ready for it. So I'm going to put him there. I think that was a fun boss fight. For the fact that, like, it caught me off guard. And it really wasn't inherently tough. It was a fairly easy boss fight. Once you knew what to do. Which I did not. I looked it up for that one, so I bumped him up a little bit. The normal sharks, I'm going to put them next to Neptune. Because it's pretty much the same thing. For, like, you see them and you have that oh damn factor. But then, like, they took, like, 1 or 2 shotgun shells a piece to kill. They really weren't tough. They were more intimidating on cutscene than they were in actual game. In the actual game itself, they were nothing. Crimson Heads. I'm going to throw them... I think I'm going to save my S tier, but I'm going to put them in A. They gave me a ton of scares throughout the game. I really can't count how many times Crimson Heads scared me. It's like... They were a really good enemy. I knew they were coming from the start, and I could have prevented every single Crimson Head that I came across. Probably not every single one, but like 90% of them in the kerosene, and I just didn't. But no, when I did come across them, they were fun. They did catch me off guard a lot, so I think they deserve an A. Normal zombie. You might disagree with me here, but I think I'm going to give him an S. I think our first S is going to be the normal zombie. Because, like, it's Resident Evil. It's zombies. And, like, not only that, and I may be wearing, like, nostalgia glasses here, but I remember seeing a friend of mine play this game for the first time on PlayStation 1 when I was a kid, and, like, that first ever zombie reveal, epic. Like, incredible. You cannot top that. Like, it's simple, it's to the point, like, it shows you everything you need to see to be like, oh, I'm in trouble. It's awesome. One of the best enemy reveals in any game. Fight me. The adders, or the little snakes, straight D. Straight to the D. They were in, like, I can only remember 1 spot, 2 spots. The only 2 spots I can remember them actually being in are right past the pool when you drain it and in like that grass walkway to get to the pool for the first time. Those are the only ones I remember. Yeah, they're definitely right there. They were totally underused, and even if so, they weren't really scary as much as they were like, oh great, another thing that can hurt me. I'm not a fan of that. Yawn. That's the name of the big snake. I think I'm going to give him S. Because, like, he scared me when I first saw him. And, like, I panicked. But not only that, like, him leaving mid-fight, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then coming back for that second time, I really like stuff like that. I really like that a lot. So I think Yawn definitely deserves an S. It was a dope fight. A really cool looking enemy. I mean, his attacks weren't great. He didn't do too much damage, but like, I genuinely loved that fight as a whole. Like both parts, 1 and 2. Alright, Black Tiger. I'm gonna have to go with... I'm gonna go with C. Just because it was a super... Like, honestly, if I hadn't have been looking at the list of enemies in the game and seen it, I would have forgot. It's just a slightly bigger version of the other spiders with like a smidge more health. It wasn't really that memorable for me, so I think I'm gonna keep him there at C, because like it's cool and everything. Like his arena was pretty dope, but I think overall as an enemy, there's nothing to write home about. Chimeras, or Chimera, Chim Chiri. I don't know how to say it. These little bastards are getting an A. The main reason I'm gonna give those an A is like I was at the end of the game, as you saw, and like I was just ready to be done with it. Like I was ready to stop filming, and like I had let my guard down, and then those guys started coming out. And I mean, I got over being afraid of them really quick, and like letting them jump scare me pretty quick. But the fact that they were able to pull me back into that game and give me that little boost of energy I needed to finish it out, you gotta respect that. Hunter, man, I'm putting a lot in A. I'm trying to save my S. You know what? Yeah. We'll stick him with S. We'll put the hunters in S. Let me tell you why. They were like a lot of enemies I found with their introduction and be like, oh, okay, this is the thing now, like this is gonna happen. And like you get to it and it's somewhat disappointing. But like, man, with those hunters, like I was nervous from the, intro, and they totally lived up to it. Immediately got jumped by like 3 of them. And they weren't too hard to kill. Some of them would die with 1 shot, others it would take 2, so you like wanted to be careful, you wanted to put yourself in a safe spot. So they were really dope. And I think they were just cool enemies. They're uglier than like it, but they are cool. Like I didn't even know of their existence. Like a lot of these things I knew about. Like I knew about the Crimson Head, I knew about Plant 42, the spiders, the snakes, the dogs, but I did not know about hunters. So when I saw them in game, like I was seeing them and knowing of their existence for the first time. Totally dope. Loved it. Lisa Trevor. You know what? I think she deserves an S. Because her story was super sad. I did not get to do the episode where I read all the files, because my dumb ass didn't realize until I beat the game and tried once again to see Chris's snowboarder outfit that we would lose all of our files that we found. So basically her story, just a quick breakdown, is that her parents were captured and experimented on. She was as well. It was something like her, and then like she found them or something, and she cut off their faces and like that mask that she wears. I'll have Wayne throw up a close-up right now of it. That's her parents' faces. The fight was a little but to be fair, I did know what to do going into that fight, because the video I watched a long time ago that was like Resident Evil facts and sad, and like I think I watched her story too. So I did know what to do. There was 2 ways to finish that boss battle. I don't remember the other one. But yeah, boss battle was a little underwhelming, but I'm keeping it in S because that is partially my fault. But like, anytime I would see or hear her in the game, I remember that feeling of like straight up chills down my spine. So I think she deserves an S, and we're gonna keep it that way. Tyrant. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, I'm sorry. Like, I like the rest of them, but this dude gets a D. Straight up, like, just a D. We saw 1 the whole game. I know it was the first Resident Evil, so, like, you kind of have to give him some slack, but, like, I saw him once in the whole game, took him down in 4 shots, and that was it. he had this really cool build-up, killed Wesker on the spot, and like, dude looked like he was like 10 feet tall. 4 shots, he was down. He smacked me 2 or 3 times, but like, even when I checked my health after that, I'm pretty sure it didn't do like anything damage-wise. And I think he was just super underwhelming. But yeah, that concludes the tier list. I did talk to Seth. Next time we hang out, we're going to do a tier list of Fall Guys levels and obstacle courses, because we did finish that series. So yeah, you can expect these at the end of series, whether it's a game that I've beat by myself on the channel, or like when me and Seth get done with a game. We've talked about a couple games and I don't want to ruin it. By the time this goes up, you'll have started Minecraft, so that's safe for me to say. And that one we'll probably do a tier list of like mobs or animals. We might even just throw a little bit of everything in there, like mobs, biomes, whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this, I'll gladly do more when I think of stuff, or who knows, maybe I'll just do random ones. I did like to do it because it was less of, although I love being goofy, it was more of like me actually being able to give my opinion without there being any possible like backlash of anything, any sorts. It was just me being able to talk about how I felt about the game, which was in a way fun for me, and I hope it was fun for you as well. So I hope you're having a good day, and if you're watching early on, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. And, thanks for coming on this Resident Evil with me, this journey of the first game. And I hope that this conclusion helped do it justice. It was a great game, but, I wanted to close it out other than just the ending of the game. So, yeah. Have a good